Mhm. Okay, give a few seconds for my editor and let's go. Welcome to another episode of the Transform Sales podcast. I am here today with Erdem from Flowla. Erdem, how you doing today?
Hey Eddie, thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How about you?
Awesome, doing great as well. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I want to talk a little bit about Flowla a little bit better because you mentioned that there are some specific use cases, and today I want us to touch specifically on the use case for sales or maybe client-facing teams, because you were telling me earlier how when it comes to client-facing um, departments, there's a lot of benefits that they can have if they use Flowla. So maybe can you paint the context, the situation of who are your ideal users? When would they use Flowla? What is it for?
Yeah, sure. So we're building Flowla for client-facing teams, mainly sales and customer success, and we're helping them manage and run their processes with their clients, be it closing a deal or be it onboarding a new client. Whether you're trying to get to yes when you're selling, or whether you're trying to get to use when you're onboarding a new customer, we help you create client-facing links to make that faster, to make that more efficient, and to help you become great project managers. Like
That's
the good
fantastic.
question is like think of your CRM, think of your pipeline. Flowla gives you the client-facing extension of every deal in your pipeline. The CRM is for you internally, and the digital sales room link that you create with Flowla is for your buyers.
That's amazing because typically, when it comes at least to sales, is the salesperson responsibility to keep that potential buyer engaged and up to speed in which step in the process they are in. What are the next steps? What has happened? What information has been shared? What is pending? So, and they keep track of that internally in their CRM. But externally, clients don't know that. So it's the salesperson job to keep reminding them, not let a deal go for too long without having some sort of touch or connection or update, right? So it seems like Flowla helps do that and helps keep every party in alignment because the information is going to be seen not only by my internal team but also by my prospects, only what is relevant to them. So that's very interesting. Now when it comes to this use case for sales teams, maybe not only again onboarding or acquiring new clients but also onboarding them and keeping everything centralized, what are the specific gaps or unmet needs that your software solves that maybe other solutions are just don't have those features today?
So when you're closing deals today, mainly you're losing those deals to indecision or inaction. Rarely you're losing them to your competition. Rarely you're losing them because of price or something else. Most of the time, the clients, the buyer, has fear of messing up. So they simply think, okay, let me not make any decision right now because any decision I make right now could be the wrong one. So your goal as a seller is to help them, to guide them to get to yes. So as Flowla, we talk about buyer enablement a lot, and our product helps you enable your buyers. Think of a discovery call or a demo call. A digital sales room link gets created after your first touch point, like that. Instead of sending them a follow up email saying, "Hey, Eddie, thank you for your time. Here's our deck. Here's a demo video. Oh, you asked about this. Here's a blog post. And here's my calendar." You tidy up all that information in a digital sales room along with your rest of your resources and automatically personalize it for your buyers as with your buyers branding. It will be a personalized link. You send it to your buyers, and you're making it very easy to go through all your content. And you, on the other hand, are tracking who's viewing it, who's looking at what, for how much time they spend, so that you identify intent, you identify stakeholders, and so that you can start multi-threading with anyone that looks at your link. So basically, we help you be present in the room while your buyers are evaluating your solution, or help you know that if your buyers are evaluating it at all.
Interesting. And I guess it's it's a level up from what people typically do through email exchanges. There's a lot of back and forth, and then information is going to be scattered. So to have that clearly centralized and not having to go every time to your inbox and search for someone's email to see what type of messages we've sent back and forth and try to piece that plus the CRM together to get a feel for where the deal is at. Hey, Flowla, I know where everything's at, but my client knows where everything's at. Everyone's aligned, and then if we had the meeting and I send them some information that they told me is important, I can see if they're paying attention to it. Have they opened it? How many times did they open it? So, how about that takes me to my second question? How about you share a little bit of your screen and show us how that looks like in action? What are some of those features that would help someone, as you said, not lose deals due to inaction, or yeah, mostly is inaction, as you said it, right? It's typically not competition, not lack of budget. It's typically because they just don't see the value. And why don't they see the value? Because maybe our messages or our value propositions are scattered through maybe a meeting, an email, a message, and not in one centralized place where they can contrast very quickly and very easily versus their priorities and validate that everything is aligned or make changes if need be. So would you please share the screen and walk us through that, Ordeem?
Yeah, happy to. I like that you said this, and it's not just they don't know your values, but it's sometimes they don't know what the next steps are because you haven't built enough clarity. You haven't outlined the next steps, and like our product helps you do exactly that. That's why we branded it in the idea of a flow. Think
Hmm.
Instagram stories in B2B sales. Basically, you're crafting a step-by-step journey with your content or your actions so that you're crafting this narrative or mutual action plan and you're guiding through your customers, you're handholding them through a virtual path, which we call a flow. So now I'll share my screen and show you what a flow would look like. Imagine we hang we hang up this discovery call, and then as a follow-up, I send you a digital sales room link. You click on it and you land on this page. Can you see my screen? I'm now sharing my screen.
Yes, sir, we can see it. And the explanation that you were
All
just
right.
giving me
So
reminds me also
just like I
of the
told you,
sales. Oh, sorry, I was just going to say the explanation you just gave me reminds me of this sales methodology called same site selling. There's a book about it in which is not you versus your prospect, is you and your prospect trying to identify if
mhm,
you're a good fit for each other, and everything can be in one place. If things change, if priorities change, hey, let's update this. If we are not aligned, then we are not a good fit. Let's not continue with this deal. But if we are, there should be nothing holding us back because we're putting everything in front of us, right?
exactly. Like collaboration is one of the main values we'll help our clients with because this is a collaborative space between you and your buyers. They can access it, you can access it. The link stays the same whether the content can keep changing, and you would be enabling them by putting the right resources here, by outlining the right next steps, so that anyone who jumps on this link has full clarity of what you do as a vendor, what values you provide them as a vendor, and what the ideal next steps would be. So what we're looking at here is a flow. Notice that I, as Flowla, this is my logo, have sent it to my buyer. In this case, is Tesla. Notice that it has their logo. The background is customized, so or even the link is customized. So anything you create would have your or your client's branding, so that it's as engaging as possible for them. Do you have any questions, or should I just go on?
So far, fantastic. Please continue.
Perfect. So these blue stuff here are what we call stages. They are the building blocks of a flow. You could create them to just group different materials together to craft your narrative or to visualize the actual stages of your sales cycle. Whatever you see on this page is customizable. So you could have 6 different stages, you have two different stages, and inside each stage, you can add any relevant content. I usually like to follow up by addressing them personally. I have a video showing my face so that it's more personal. I visualize our value add with an image. So this is a piece of content that I build on Flowla just like I build on Notion. But if you have existing sales collateral like videos or PDF, you could simply upload them so that your buyers can consume that without ever leaving this link. If you have a video, you can click here and play that video. If you have calendars, you can embed your calendars. Think of any online or offline material from Google Sheets to PDFs to PowerPoints, they would go inside this link. And the beauty is they would view this link, this PDF without ever leaving this link. So everything here visualized step by step for them.
Question. I can see or deem this being useful on deals where you have multiple stakeholders, like enterprise type of deals where you just don't contact one person and they're automatically the decision maker that pulls out their credit card and buys your solution. But you have to speak with multiple champions, multiple times, different roles, different stakeholders, and how they are all impacted by a solution. I can see how this makes it easy to, as we bring a new person into the conversation or loop them in, instead of just having them see a 30-step email sequence, we share with them this file and they should be able to get the context of what the conversation is about. So, with that in mind, in understanding that you did mention earlier, hey, sales, customer success is our type of departments that benefit a lot from our tool. I want to challenge you and try to get you to click a little bit further down. What type of specific companies, company sizes, industries where you say are your best customers or have seen the most traction when using something like this, and for what type of deals, what type of ticket do you typically see your customers handle and take more benefit from Flowla?
Yeah, that's a perfect question. So ideally, we look for some sort of complexity in the process. Because if your sales process is just one meeting and then sending a Stripe link afterwards and then closing the deal, you may not need digital sales rooms. Just like you said, if you have some sort of complexity, meaning you have a bunch of different materials, so you need to educate your customers, or you have different stakeholders from different departments and you need to align them, or if it's a long process for which you need mutual action plans, you need to visualize a timeline. That's our ideal scenario. Our clients, like our happiest clients, have a big chunk of sales collateral. They usually use a CRM. Our product is natively integrated with their CRM, like Salesforce or HubSpot. You can actually create these links without ever leaving your CRM dashboard. So these links will be created and sent to your buyers on autopilot. And then all the insights, everything happening inside this link will be synced back to your CRM so that you use them in different workflows. So if your process if it has a lot of back and forth, if you're dealing with multiple stakeholders, if you're struggling to build clarity on what next steps are, and if your product needs some education, you're definitely a good fit to use Flowla.
I love it. And would you say today, on your current customer base, would you say there's a cohort or a niche that takes a large portion of your customers? Like, would you say maybe in logistics and IT and manufacturing? What type of, like, who are your main customers today?
They're mostly software vendors. Different verticals could be like HR tech, prop tech, legal tech. Like the common denominator is like you are selling a complex product. The implementation could be complex. Like you see here, I have like not just sales steps, but also implementation steps, which are currently locked, which will become unlocked when I close my deal. So this link remains as the single source of truth. Like imagine if you're selling to HR, you're possibly speaking to an HR rep, and you want to make it as easy as possible for that person to sell you internally. So
Hmm.
digital sales rooms come in very handy in that case. You just prepare a link, send it to your champion, and tell them, okay, this is our product. Feel free to pass this internally. And then in your dashboard, I'm now in my dashboard, not the client view. I can just go into the analytics. So this link is viewed just by me 2 times, for instance. But if you had multiple stakeholders, you'd see the deal momentum. You'll be able to identify each and every stakeholder, see how much time they spend inside your link, and what they looked at specifically. So this gives you extra power, extra visibility, so that you know what's happening behind closed doors. You get in touch with the right person. So complexity in software selling, or we have agency clients as well, like they're running a process back and forth, they're getting a brief, preparing a draft, getting feedback on it. At the same time, they need some data collection. We have forms that help you collect any type of information from your buyers, and we can push that information right to your CRM. So this is not just for sharing resources, but collecting data, collecting documents, collecting e-signatures from your prospects as well.
Interesting. It also seems like, from a high level, it seems like services or service companies may be better served by this, but at the end, also software companies that may not per se run a service, but more like a platform that buyers implement,
Right.
maybe on that second element, post sale of implementation and multi-step alignment to really have the software fully implemented, could also be a very interesting use case for someone in the audience tuning into this episode. Now, the next question that I have for you is, what are the key performance indicators your ideal customer should use to track and measure the success of Flowla, right? And what type of quantifiable outcomes could they be expecting?
Well, two critical things. They would definitely expect faster time to value. Like if it sells, faster closing cycles, if it's sales, faster onboarding. Because one, you're making it very easy for your buyers, for your customers, because you're putting together everything they need in a single link and sharing with them. And you're also making it easy for your champion to sell you internally. And you're getting instant notifications when people access this. So faster cycles and improve your win rates. Like I'll tell you an interesting stat. Like around 20% of our new pipeline comes from people who have received flows from our existing customers and then love the experience and then wanted to apply this for their own company as well. That means you're making a difference. Like if you're in a competitive industry, if you want to make an impression, if you want to stand out from your competition, sending a follow-up email after a discovery call with a long email body, few attachments doesn't do the trick. So if you want to make that impression, if you want to increase your win rates, you'll get a huge impact from using digital sales rooms.
I love it, and that's a great way to speak on behalf of your software success. Your own clients, as they use it, their clients like it, and they become new clients of yours. So that continues to reinforce, hey, do we do find a value add when we all stay aligned through Flowla? Let's
Mhm.
bring that on board for our own processes. If you could walk us, please, Erdem, through the tasks, deliverables, and people that go into onboarding your solution, and typically how long it takes for your clients to reach full productivity. Is there
Mhm.
anything that they should have before bringing you on board? Maybe not as mandatory, but as a recommended thing so that your onboarding process gets kicked off much faster?
Mhm. Well, like our product is rather lightweight. Our CRM integrations are one-click integrations, so it would just need a few minutes to set up a new account. The only hurdle that we need to jump together with our clients is helping them prepare their first template. So templates are flows that you duplicate so that you create a new personalized flow for each of your new companies, for each of your new prospects. So when you have your first template, then the rest, like it just takes you 2 seconds to create a new flow. Building that template will take you around, I don't know, depending on how complex your cycle is, from 5 minutes to a few hours. And our customer success team helps our new customers create their first template so that we handhold them towards success. So this is a lightweight tool. In a few days, in a few hours, depending on how your complex your cycles are, this will be up and running.
Excellent. I love that you mentioned your tool can help with the setup and implementation. I know that
Mhm.
sometimes, depending on the type of software, that can be a daunting task, but you mentioned it's very lightweight with your software. The extreme opposite would be something like Salesforce, where implementation is kind of like a heart transplant. And then in that implementation or assistance from Salesforce or company in helping you inject that software, there's a lot of costs involved. Would you say that with your program, it seems like there may not be, right? You're saying, hey, it's lightweight, it's easy to implement, you just have a session with us. Is there like a cost involved to have additional help with your team? Or, hey, we have those onboarding sessions, you get set up. If you need it, you can talk to us again, but there is no need for additional cost. Do you envision the need for a support or success package or concierge requirement, or is it very light, couple of sessions with you and they're set up and able to run? It seems the way you described it, like, hey, just we teach you how to create a deal record first, and it's almost like learning how to duplicate deals every time you meet with a new prospect, right? Please
Mhm.
confirm if that's the way it flows.
Yeah. So we have two main price plans, Pro and Team. We offer our Team plan customers white glove onboarding, so we can help them set up their accounts, set up their templates. With our Pro plan users, we have perfect Flowla guides, different videos, different materials to help them get started on their own. But yeah, like what we're known with is our hospitality. So we offer our onboarding services free of charge to our customers. We're happy to handhold them towards success.
That's fantastic. How long would you say it would take them again to be up and running? You mentioned it was a couple of days, maybe a week.
Yeah, within the same week for sure, unless like unless it's not us who is blocking the process. Like because sometimes, like in most of the cases, these links they get created during sales, and then they get handed over to CS for onboarding. So this remains as the single source of truth, ensures a smooth transition for the buyer, and has everything in it. So
Hmm.
if the customer has siloed departments, if you need buy-ins from a larger group of people, it can be longer, but technically it's rather a simple task, and in terms of the implementation, it's a very defined process. So within a week this will be up and running for sure.
Fantastic. And you mentioned two plans. By any chance, do you have like a trial program for any of those plans?
Yeah, we also offer a free plan that is free, up to 5 flows created. So we give our customers that opportunity so that they can test it in real life and validate that it creates value for them. And we love that feedback loop. You create a flow, you send it to your prospects, and then you track insights on how they're viewing it. You get email notifications, and then and that data gets fed into your CRM, and then you say, okay, this is helpful. Now I'm fully in control of how my buying journey works. So that's when you decide to upgrade.
Excellent, Erdem. So there are two plans. There is definitely a free trial that they can use to test the platform, use the tool.
Yeah.
If they like it, they love it, they can definitely talk to your team, get set up on a plan, be onboarded in less than a week. And
Mhm.
from then on start to see the benefits of the tool. It should first be translated into faster sales cycle. As the
Mhm.
sales cycle speed cranks up, then also more conversions. So conversions are going to be the main impact or measure of success for this software. Radim, thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything else you would like to for the audience to take away from this episode?
Yeah, like we always preach about this, but like sales tech space has seen a lot of revolutions. We see that the next one is based on enabling your buyers. We have enabled sales teams, we have enabled different teams, we have integrated different solutions, but now every sales cycle is getting too complex, and every salesperson needs to become a great project manager. That's where we come in. We're helping you do the work. We're helping you be great communicators, and we're doing the project managing, the resource sharing, and we do the enabling of the buyers. So I hope we help you do that at scale. Thank you, Eddie. It's been a pleasure.
Amazing, Ardim. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to catch you on the next episode.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
All right, all right. That was pretty good. Let